Hello everybody, this is Solar Tiger with another solar power video. Today is Monday the 25th of July and this is a video about the water pump that I bought. Outside I have two water butts and I collect rainwater for watering the garden, and I used to use a mains powered water butt pump, a 300 watt pump, but I had some issues. Number one was the pump failed. One day we went to use it and it just hummed and nothing happened. And the other problem is, now that I moved the shed, there is no mains power supply. So I decided to buy a 12-volt pump, and so I could run it from one of my solar power boxes. So this is the pump that I bought from eBay. It is a water system pump, as it says on the label here. I'll turn you around so you can see the label. This is a surge flow water system pump. It's a model FL35 and it has a flow rate of 3.3 gallons per minute, which is 12.5 litres per minute. It runs on 12 volts DC and consumes a current of 3.9 amps, and it has an operating pressure of 35 pounds per square inch. When this pressure is reached, it cuts out. It's an on-demand pump, so you connect it to your hose and your spray gun, and when you pull the trigger, the pump starts up automatically, and when you release the trigger, the pump cuts out when the pressure in the lines reaches 35 pounds per square inch. So that's how this works. You can see here that it is self-priming and it can run dry without any damage, and it has a thermal overload protector. It cuts out if it overheats, and when it cools down it will start up again. So this is the pump. I bought it from eBay, and it says on the box that it's made for caravans and RVs and motorhomes, marine use in agriculture, and for other uses where you require a water pump. This type of pump is a diaphragm pump. It's just the way that the pump works, how it operates. And a key thing when you're pumping rainwater or water that you're collecting in water butts off a roof or other structure is that the water may contain sediments and solids, things that accumulate on your roofs and in your gutters, and this sort of thing can damage your pump and block it up. So it's essential to have a water filter on the input. This will trap particles of solids and sand and other things that are in the water and stop them from entering your pump and causing damage. So this is the inlet, and I have a hose that goes from here to the tap on my water butt. This thing is portable, it's on a board. I just take it out to the garden when I want to use it, along with my appropriate 12-volt power box. So when I go outside, I attach the hose from the water butt. I will be improving this in the future. And on the output, I have a quick connect hose connector. I have the same connector on the end of my main hose with the spray gun, and these will attach together with a male-to-male connector, which I haven't got at the moment. This is so it's easy to detach, and I can bring the pump in and store it indoors. I do not want to leave my electrical equipment outside due to the weathers, and it's a target for theft, so that's not what we want. The wiring is very simple. There's a plus and a minus from the pump motor, and there's a pressure switch inside. The pump cuts out when the pressure in the line reaches 35 psi. So we go through the plus and minus from the pump, go through a switch, and then we have a flex with a cigarette lighter plug on the end. The plug is fused. It has a 5 amp fuse in it. I also have a 5 amp fuse in my power box, so that's just a safety thing in case there's any fault in the pump. There's a short circuit in it. It won't short out the battery in my power box. That is not desirable. Anyhow, I will simply take this out to the garden and I stand it on the solar panel stand in between the two sides, and on this side I just pop my power box and I plug in the cigarette lighter plug. So this pump is fairly powerful, and with the spray gun that I have, I can easily shoot water more than 10 feet on the jet setting on the multi-spray head that I have on the end. So that works quite well. On the output, you'll need to attach your hose very securely and use a hose clamp. The first time I didn't, and within a few minutes the hose blew off and I had water going everywhere, so that was not great. So you need to use a hose clamp and attach your pipe securely on the output high pressure side. On the low pressure side, that's not so critical because you're actually sucking on the actual hose. So also I wanted to use a 12 volt pump because low voltage electricity is much safer around water. I was never happy using a mains powered pump that was in a barrel of water, because you're always told that water and high voltage electricity are not a good combination. So I was never easy about that. So I prefer to use low voltage equipment around water. I feel safer with it. So this pump is very successful. I'm still working on the plumbing, and I was watching YouTube videos trying to decide what pump to buy. When buying a pump, you want one with a reasonable amount of PSI pressure, but you need one that can pump a reasonable volume of water, the number of gallons or litres per minute. It's all well and good having very high pressure, but a very low litre per minute rating means you have high pressure but very little volume. And when we're doing watering our garden, we don't need massively high pressure, but we need a reasonably good volume of water. So this is Solar Tiger saying thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye. Thank you.